All right, I'm very excited. I know I don't sound it. I speak monotonely. However, um, finding a product to sell on Amazon is by far my favorite part of this business model. I'm very passionate about the creative aspect of entrepreneurship. So the like thinking through the design, finding the idea in the first place, saying yes or no to a whole checklist of items, like that just sounds fun to me. I do this for fun. And so I don't want to keep you waiting. I know your time's valuable, but we're going to be jumping into it, sharing my screen. Before we do, really quickly, I just wanted to pull up my Amazon sales so you know I'm not some skeeving, lying bastard guru. 36,000 in the last 30 days. And the coolest part about this, you saw it, whatever. Made in the USA product, one product, started with $6,000. Full transparency. That's it. I didn't ever put any more of my own personal capital into that business. Started the LLC, $6,000 capital investment, one product. A year later, I'm doing $36,000 in sales with that specific product. Right now, we're scaling, pushing up, spending a lot on marketing, 20% profit margin during that period. At any time, I could flip the switch, make it 35% profit, and be making $10,000 a month in profit. Right now, a little bit less than that, like I just said. But I just wanted to start the basis there for anyone who's new, doesn't know who I am or what I do. That is it. And I want to give away this free content to you just as a gift in hopes that you go and start this and are successful, and then maybe one day come and do some consulting with me if you run into any problems. But that's it. So by the way, if you want help getting to your goal, I know I said this wasn't going to take a while in the intro, but I have a free, well, not free, donation-based course, minimum payment of $1. However, you can go get instant access to my Savage Sellers course, teaches you how I do what I do, monthly, bi-weekly Q&As with me live in private over there. And then also monthly product research masterclasses. So the model here is truly just, I like giving. I'm, like I said, very passionate about this business. Anything you can afford, I want to help. $1 minimum, that's it. Otherwise, enjoy my treat. Let's get started. And we're going. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned this. If you're interested in the donation, pay whatever you can afford course, there's a link in the description. Obviously, I feel like everyone knows that nowadays. This is going to be a little bit different than your typical product research video. I'm not just going to like read some script. I spent the morning going through what I truly think and then I said it in a way that I could say it most simply. Like I was like, if I had like $5,000 to start again this year, this spring, I wanted to be successful with Amazon FBA. What would I do? What would I look for? I ran a poll recently. A lot of you asked or stated that finding the right product to sell, 51% of people agreed, was the hardest part of the business. Nothing even came close to that. So I really want to help you out here. How to find a product to sell in 2024. Product equals problem. Okay. So we have to just get down to like first principles here. What is it that we're doing when we're selling a product? We're just solving a problem. Someone has been doing reading about their tap water locally and how it's not that good where they live. And, they have this problem. They want to drink filtered water. They don't really want to, pollute the planet more, drinking tons of plastic water bottles. So it's like, they're going to get a water filtration system for their home. Okay. This solves that problem. So it's almost like you're selling that, and this is just how you're selling that. Okay. So change your frame of mind. Instead of just thinking of it as like, there's all these products out there and I'm just going to pick one to sell. Think of it in terms of like you're solving a mystery, and it's how do I best solve this problem? Problem equals customer. Again, I try to make this as simple as possible. So there's not just problems floating around in outer space, in the space-time continuum. There's beings that have these problems. So really, when we say we're trying to find the right product to sell in 2024, solving the right problem is really what we mean. And then solving the right problem for the right person is really, really what we mean. So just start operating from that place. At least it helped me. I'm not going to tell you what to do. Defined customer equals good. So we know that the problem is equal to a customer that has a problem. Then defining who that customer is only going to be beneficial to us. So like I said, if I was designing this and it's primarily for families and I was thinking this is for offices, I might design it wrong, right? If 3 people a day use this and I was expecting 20 people a day were going to use this, I might have, for no apparent reason, made the tank in the back hold way too much water, because it's like that'd be an amazing value add. My cost would be huge and I'd have no one buying my product because I solved the problem that I thought existed, but I didn't know who my customer truly was. So one person said the water tank's not big enough, but really 99% of my customers agree this is just fine. So you can get yourself in and out of problems by understanding truly who it is that's buying your products. The way that we would do that, by the way, is we would come down here, we'd go to the reviews. All of this is available to us, right? So we don't have to do too much thinking. You can just start actually looking online and looking at what's in front of you. And if you start asking the right questions, the answers start to unveil themselves, and then they just become activities to reach those answers. So I'm all about, like, I have a hard time focusing, put it that way. I'm sure a lot of you can relate to this, and I tend to sit down on my computer for 3 hours and then nothing really truly gets done. It's because I'm kind of focused on goals and not activities. And if instead I were to just go like, I'm going to read 600 reviews today, and then I'm going to make a small checklist of everything that was in common amongst people, in one day you would have gotten really far into defining who your customer was. Anyway, we can read these reviews here. I especially like to read the good ones, which is the opposite of most people, but anything that's long, anywhere that someone was willing to share their thoughts on this product, it's really going to help us, right? This is all really good. I would read all of them. Now, I'm not saying, by the way, that this is a good product to sell. It's simply serving. You have to read between the lines here and see this as an example. Don't take it very literally in that, like, oh, he's recommending this. Not at all. I'm just using it as the basis for which I can overlay my principles on and get you to understand them. So moving on, if we define our customer very well by reading all types of reviews, going to forums, getting off Amazon is important too. Go look at other types of websites that are doing this at a very high level. Go look at is there anyone doing this DIY? Are there YouTube videos about this, reviews, etc.? Go read all of that. Unique selling point equals good. Define customer is a good thing. Unique selling point is a good thing. So let's back up a step here and let's go just water filter. I've defined my customer as someone in need of filtering their water. And then if I could get more specific, that's going to help me. For instance, like we said, families who need to filter more than 1.5 gallons a day or something like that, right? So instantly, these are going to be more attractive to them, where it's just like they, either attached to the sink or what have you. Not like, I think a lot of us have had, and I currently have, the filter where like you fill it in the top and it takes 6 hours to drain into the reservoir and you get this much water, and it's like a cup of water. It's very hard to cycle. So anyway, like I said, bear with me. I do love this part of the business, and I can start thinking very quickly about different things like that. But anyway, unique selling point. So when I look at this page, I'm going to be, as a customer, sometimes overwhelmed. There's a lot of options. And so what you need to do is have a way of standing out. My unique selling point is also equal to my kind of front end click-through rate. Like, why is someone going to click on me? I associate that with a unique selling point. It's like, what gets them to believe in me? What gets them to my listing? What gets them interested? Because it would be easy to go through here and look at all of these different options and just go, yeah, I'm just going to pick something from up here that has a lot of reviews. So in that landscape, and that's relevant in most places, how do you stand out? And you do that by understanding who your customer is and then bringing to fruition the design from an aesthetic point of view and the utility and function from a utility point of view that they were talking about wanting, or the lack thereof of your competitors in the reviews, right? So by defining your customer, you better understand how to create a unique selling point as well. And sometimes it just takes some creative thinking. There are a few tricks that you can use at this stage, which would be like creating value-based innovation, not competition-driven innovation. So in my case specifically, it would have been easy to look at the competition and just do something slightly different to them. Okay, but we started from the ground up instead. And we said, this is our customer. This is everything they're saying. Let's actually ignore our competitors after, funnily enough, studying them very hard. So we knew what was being done and what wasn't. We knew if it was truly a unique selling point because we knew what the market and the landscape looked like. But not to get off track, we started from the ground up and built a product that we ran through something called a negative review catch. So it's like we took all the negative reviews in the market, compared it to what we had designed, and said, does this equal any of these negative reviews? Inevitably, because sometimes it can be a dichotomy, people say they like things and other people say they hate that thing, you'll never get really to a point where you're going to have at mass a 5-star review rating unless everyone agrees on a set standard of what we're judging the product on, which is typically not how it works. However, thinking that way, negative review prevention, positive review promotion. How do we get it more likely that people are going to review us well, give us great social proof with a unique selling point through value-based innovation? Great book on that by, I forget who it's by. It's Blue Ocean Strategy. Blanking on the name right now. 2 authors. Defined customer values, USP. So your defined customer, which is a good thing, your unique selling point, which is a good thing. When your defined customer sees your unique selling point, they value it. They find true value in it, right? That's why we're talking about value-based innovation. So they get it when they see it. I'm a customer now looking at water filters. This one immediately, because it's almost $400, has a higher perceived value. Like, it can't be the same thing as the things next to it. It cannot be, right? It doesn't look like it. It's not priced like it, so it isn't. And yet there's plenty of sales on it. So what's happening here? And what's happening is that the customer who we have defined values this type of thing. Okay, they're going, I've gone through enough replaceable filter systems in the last 6 months, a year, 3 years, for an expensive reverse osmosis water filtration system that I plug in and sits on my countertop is going to be valuable to me. Okay, so this is the part that can get intangible and hard to explain. That's why I made my course donation-based. You can go learn the intricacies of these processes over hours of footage that I filmed on the topic. But just for the sake of moving on, the general idea is that whoever you're selling to really deeply cares about what change you've made. You haven't just thought that it's different from your competition. You actually built it from the basis of understanding your customer and building it for them. And sorry if I repeat myself a lot during these videos. I just want to make it very clear. Everything that I'm saying here is important. And if you skip some of this or don't take it as heavily as you should, you will likely not get the outcome you want. I'm not going to say you'll fail, but that's what happened to me. I've sold many private label products, and yes. So recurring problems also equals good. Now, recurring problems is like my customer can buy my product more than once or part of my product more than once. If the reverse osmosis water system has a internal filtration system that needs to be changed, I don't know how that works, but something like the Brita has a filter that needs to be changed. That's great because now you've got a continuity model. So they buy something once and then they're now locked into like a subscription situation. And the cool thing is like you guarantee that if you click on these, there's a subscription option, right? And in fact, it's the first option, subscribe and save. You start by clicking set up now on this continuity product. You can see I've purchased it 3 times. So with that being said, that was something that happened to me by accident, actually, surprisingly enough. I found this market 18 months ago, started working on it, came up with my product, and then I started seeing all these repeat purchases and multiple quantity purchases. That's something that I wouldn't have recommended a while ago, but now I find very important. Can your customer buy your product more than once? Or can they buy something relating to your product more than once? We just want to have, We don't want to have to keep buying customers. We want to be able to also drive up the average order value and also drive up the lifetime value of that customer, or lifetime gross profit of that customer. So as long as you're thinking of like, what are additional products I can sell to this same person, or can this same person buy my same product multiple times a year, that's going to be a great thing. High profit equals good. Greater than 40% is like a grand slam in e-commerce physical products. Now, of course, there are outliers. You can have 80%, 70% insanely high profit products. I've found over an average of almost 20 private label products now, and landing on this single made in the USA product that's doing $36,000 a month. Above 40%, you're looking really good. If after all of your shipping expenses and manufacturing expenses, pick and pack and fees, you're sitting around that, you're going to do just fine. That's leaving plenty of room for your marketing efforts with PPC. Say, for instance, you got a total A cost of 15%. You're still going to be profiting 25% net margin. So if you did $1 million in sales in a year, it'd be $250,000 in net profits into your pocket, which again, that's only 25%. Upwards of there, you just start doing the math, right? It starts getting better and better and better. Things to look out with the profit is that we want smaller products that are efficiently packed, light products. Generally, the more valuable your offer is too, obviously the greater that profit margin can be, especially if you value innovate and you remove over-engineered parts of the product. So what are things that might be expensive relating to this product that aren't even necessary? So you can actually counterintuitively drive costs down and value up at the same time. You just have to know what you're looking for, how to design that. Boring competition equals good. This is actually a pretty good example of a boring competition market. I wouldn't say anyone is like really exciting here. And to give you a little bit of an example of what that looks like, if you're a longtime watcher of my channel, you'll certainly know this example. However, if we just search seltzer, we have like classic Polar, right? They've looked the same for however long. Funnily enough, they actually just increased their packaging to a more retro style, which is coming back in style. And then we have all these different kinds of cans, right? Several years ago, Liquid Death comes on the scene. It's just like nothing you've ever seen, right? So this is a unique selling point for sure. It stands out. It gets people right away to want to click, even if they don't want to buy. There's a lot of good things happening here. So on our document here, boring competition, if I'm going up against Polar, I'm going up against LaCroix, I'm going up against generic, bubbling water, it's actually going to be quite easy for me to stand out in a very big way. And you would think in a market like water filter, you wouldn't be able to do that, but you surely can. And again, this is not a recommendation. This is not something I think, but again, just like start thinking that way and like, how can I really stand out? Like, how do I get people to only buy from me? That's one of the biggest prompts that I would give one of my students is like, only the customer, if they want your product, should only be able to get it from you. And so that's where that we really redefine our unique selling point, etc. Diverse search queries is a good thing. So if there's many ways that someone can get to your product, I'll highlight what that might look like here. Water filter. There's also like, here, let's restart this prompt so we get not Walter, water. My little thing's not popping up. Normally I have a plugin that'll give me a bunch of things here, but you might have water filter, water filtration system, water filter, BPA free water filter for microplastic, right? There's going to be all of these associated long tail search terms. It's a very good thing, right? Because we'll be able to work our way up through the ranks, targeting those long tail search terms. Eventually the big one like water filter. I'm going to probably start there. And then search volume, sum total, 40,000 plus searches per month. And that's, I would say, like if you were to sort a listing by what keywords they're ranking for with a tool like Cerebro by Helium 10. I guess I could show this to you. There's really no point though. Yeah, this video's already long. Basically, You get what I'm saying. 40,000 searches per month amongst many search terms. Higher than that's obviously going to be good. There does become a cap where it's too big. Like I don't want to compete against sellers doing millions of dollars per month if I'm just getting started. 6 figures, a few sellers hitting 6 figures might be okay. Especially if you're really working on your value and defining why your product's unique and why people should buy it from you, why it looks like something they want to interact with and support and rally behind, really kind of building that tribe and that community there. But to give you a frame of reference, my product for my organic ranking keywords where I'm ranked on top 25, there's about 50,000 search volume there that I'm ranking in the top 25 for organically. So like I said, I recommend 40 at least and go up from there. But that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you so much for sticking around. Like I said, I'm here to serve you and provide value. I really just want a bunch of people to watch my videos and become successful and build awesome brands. That's that in itself is very exciting to me. So if you want to become one of those people, like I said, there's a donation course available for you down below. $1 minimum. Feel free. Obviously, I put a lot of time into it, so I appreciate any higher donations or pledges. But I'm just stoked to help you guys. I think it's going to be a great year for my brand and for this channel. So subscribe if you happen to be new, or if you enjoy the videos but have forgotten, and I'll see you in the next video. Later.